Welcome to Calling Dr. Dream, the Kelly Sullivan Walden Dreamifesting Podcast, awakening you to the power of your dreams. In this dream-drenched space where night meets insight, you'll get to eavesdrop on my conversations with the world's leading mind, body, spirit experts. Other episodes are taken straight out of my Dreamifesting live classes. If you want to know more about that, visit dreamifesting-live.com. In every episode, we explore the magical intersection of sleep and awake, spirit and science, and yes, the holy and the guacamole. So grab your journal, light a candle, and get ready to Dreamifest like never before. Because as you are lifted, all are lifted. Welcome to the show tonight. I am live and we're trying to get our situation on. We're voguing. Live. Vague. So it is May 1st if you're watching live, and it is Beltane. It's a very special day for the pagans of the world. And this harkens back to a long time ago. And Melissa St. Hilaire, author of 30 Real Signs from the Afterlife, is going to be telling us a little bit about how we can do something special and magical on this day. So hello, yes. Melissa. Hello. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
In my living room with a few special guests, and hopefully we might have somebody ask a question or two at some point.
That would be nice.
But we're going to do a little ceremony.
Yeah.
So Melissa, let's get it started.
Okay, you want to start with the ceremony?
Well, I don't know. Tell us what we're doing. Like,
okay.
So what?
Well, let me hand you Pearl.
Oh, thank you. Pearl is the sacrificial pearl. No, just kidding.
No, you're familiar.
Yes, no pearls will be sacrificed in this ceremony.
So basically, Beltane pretty much means bright fire. And the idea is that it is sort of welcoming back the warmth of the sun. So that's kind of why we celebrate Beltane. And it's really ancient. I believe the first recorded mention of Beltane was something in like 958 or some ridiculous. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong.
Okay.
But it was a long time ago. So we've been doing this for a long time. And modern pagans like myself really embrace it because it marks the beginning of summer. It's like you're coming out of the cool winter and huddled and everything, and you're embracing that beautiful summer sunshine and everything. So
it seems like there's so many ceremonies. I mean, and this is just my take on it. So when it starts to become winter and cold and dark, there's winter solstice. That's kind of like on the darkest night, we're calling on the sun, because maybe at one point we thought maybe the sun will never come again.
Right.
So it's not, because at this point we kind of know the patterns and things like that, but there is something sacred about marking.
Well, that's ceremony. What it is. It's marking the seasons. It's marking change, and it's really good for bringing community together. I just went to the store that I work at is the Green Man store.
Yes, and the Green Man is what is really celebrated on this day.
Yeah, the Green Man. I mean, this is the day for the Green Man.
This is the Green Man Day. So all you green men and women and the green men within all of us.
Exactly.
Okay, so what is that?
Basically, the Green Man held a Beltane ritual recently. We went out near the beach and they had a maypole and we had the Beltane fire, and we danced in circles around the maypole and stuff like that. The maypole is a little bit more of a modern addition to Beltane. It was not it's not really considered traditional. However, I did a little research because I wanted to find something different to share about Beltane that most people don't talk about. And something that I found was the May tree. And what they used to do during this time for Beltane, it's kind of like, because it's like the opposite of Christmas in a weird way, but they would get trees and then they would decorate them and put baubles on them and garlands and things like that. and then they would dance around the May tree. So
Mm.
I suspect that the maypole comes from that beginning.
Oh, that's beautiful. And
Yeah.
it feels like it's just such a festive time. Wasn't it also like mating ritual
Oh,
time?
totally.
Like,
Yeah. Well, because if you're thinking about, like, this is the time when we want the sun to warm the crops.
mhm,
We want to grow so that we have a harvest. And that is tied totally to fertility rights. I mean,
mhm.
100%.
And fertility rights regarding having babies, but also creative babies, creative things. So
Absolutely.
fertility meaning just like, let's have a juicy, rich life. Let's make something new.
Exactly.
So one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you is, first of all, I know it's a special day, even though I don't consider myself exactly a Wiccan, but I've been like adjacent, and I'm curious and kind of into it to a certain degree. But my friend Gypsy, who passed away a few years ago, who I bring up all the time, she had her wedding on that day on Beltane, and I got to marry her, and it was such a magical ceremony, and it
No.
felt like it was such a really important day to make a declaration about something. So, and it was like everything that day was so divine. I mean, literally, it was outside and it was such a windy day. We thought, oh my God, we can't do it outside. But then the wind stopped,
Right.
and it was great. Anyway, and one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you is because I do a lot of talking about dreamifesting these days, allowing our dreams to do the heavy lifting to make things happen. So, which is kind of magic.
Oh,
Like,
totally.
so having a vision, giving it over to our higher self, and then watching how things actually come into fruition, and yet having a bit of thy will be done, not my will, but thy will be done. So it
Right.
kind of correlates to what you do. Like, you help to bring things into fruition. So talk a
Completely
little
and
bit about that.
totally. I mean, that's basically what being a witch is, you know? I mean, if you think about it, it's like, or what witchcraft is,
Hmm. Hmm.
when I think about being a witch, I think about how the idea is that you are in control. It's your life.
Hmm.
You own it. You're in control of it.
Yep.
It doesn't matter where you're born. It doesn't matter if you're born rich or poor.
Hmm.
You choose your own path,
Mm.
and you do what your heart calls you to do, or what your passions call you to do. And for me, that's what being a witch is. And part of that is, of course, manifesting your realities, because you are creating your own life. And where witchcraft comes into play is utilizing various different things like energies, whether it's a celestial energy, you're doing planetary magic, or you're
Mm.
working with spirits, which is what I do,
Hmm.
or, earth magic. There's all different types of magic.
Hmm.
But the idea is that you're using this energy to help make your reality whatever you want it to be.
Hmm.
And that's why I love witchcraft,
Hmm.
because there's so much accountability in it. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
it's not,
Oh,
oh, the devil made me do it. No,
right,
you did it.
right,
You.
right.
you know?
Okay, so I had an interview recently with Marie Diamond, who's the feng shui expert who was in the
Yes.
movie The Secret, and she was talking about, and I can't remember the exact mathematic ratio, but it was something like you're born with a certain karma or luck. So let's just say 33% of what you of the luck that you have in this life is determined by your heredity, your karma, the stuff that happened before you got here.
Right.
And then 33% of it is based on your the way you are in your life these days, like how you like what you do.
Right.
And then 33% of it is completely wild. It's not up to you. It's like the universe.
Yeah.
So the 33% that is up to us, like we can't do anything about what we came in here with, like that's done.
Right.
And there's the 33% that is the universe, so that's not ours. But what's in our lane is quite a lot. So she was saying, like, move your desk in a favorable direction. Like, that's one of the things that you actually have some control over. You don't have
Yes.
control over every single thing, but you do have. It's like my friend Steve Allen says, control your controllables. So is
Yes.
that kind of the same idea?
It's
Is it
kind
that you don't control the whole universe, but there's a piece of it that you do?
Well, kind of.
Okay. Say more, say more.
Well, I feel like the thing about witchcraft is there's so much, like, I would say you can control even more than that. Do you
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Okay, say
I
more.
feel like you can control even, like, your luck. I feel like you can control what you were given or what you, there's so much more to it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'll give you an all right,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right, all
yeah,
right, all
yeah.
right. I'm trying to think of an
We're
example.
gonna do and we're gonna do a little ceremony, by the way. So get ready to, whether you're watching live or later, because I'm gonna say from a dream place, Beltane is forever. Every day is we're on a parallel plane with everything. So even if you're watching this or listening later, you can still do this. But we
Right.
are gonna do a ceremony.
Yes, we are going to do a ceremony. A quick little story
Yes.
about manifestation. So my entire life, and it's about my book,
Mm-hmm.
my entire life, all I ever wanted was to traditionally publish a book.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted.
Uh-huh.
I wrote poems when I was a kid. I had poems published when I was in high school and college. And so to me, I didn't realize how hard it was to get published.
Right, right. Like, hi, I wrote something.
Right.
Who wants to publish? Yeah.
And everyone's like, what? Who?
Right.
And so anyway, so then I went to college, studied filmmaking, whatever, moved out here to
Wow.
pursue that
Mm.
and realized, like, I missed writing. You know what I mean? Like writing books, not just screenplays, because
Right.
it's very different.
Yeah.
And so I kept thinking, like, I really want to write a book. So I wrote a couple on my own and I self-published, and I wasn't super happy with any of it. I wanted something, and then nothing against self-publishing
Right.
at all
Nope.
whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll do it again.
Yeah.
But to me, the milestone was the traditionally published book.
Right.
So I did a spell. I put it out into the universe. Like, this is what I want,
Mm-hmm.
and then nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, what am I doing wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wasn't soliciting. I wasn't going out and trying to get someone to publish a book for. I wasn't talking to anybody. So I kept thinking, well, that's what I need to do. That's why nothing's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
witchcraft works better if you do action in the mundane world and use the craft to align the energies for you so that you get the luck and opportunity. But I wasn't doing that. So it wasn't working. So then I was like, okay, well, I have to figure that out. And I got very scared. I started thinking about approaching publishers. I thought about trying to find an agent, and I was paralyzed by fear. I was afraid of rejection or something. I don't know. I was like, I don't know what to do. I can't do this. And so I just said, okay, well, I'm just going to put that to the side. The spell is still working. I'll put this aside. I'll think something else. I'll just focus on other things. I spent the next several years focusing on mediumship, really honing my abilities, diving into ghost hunting, which is something I also always wanted to do.
Shout out to Misha Walden. That's how we got connected with Melissa.
But all these different things I just dove into, and I was teaching, I studied and then I taught and I was getting readings, everything. And then all of a sudden, the thing that they tell you won't ever happen, happened. Out of the blue, I get an email from a publisher.
Oh my God.
Saying, we want to do a book on mediumship. We're looking for an expert in the field. And we got your name. Are you interested? I didn't have to solicit. I didn't have to get an agent. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to follow my passion. I just had to do in the world the thing that I love the most. And eventually somebody got wind of it and opened a door for me.
That's so amazing.
Right.
So last time I was sitting on this couch doing this, we had Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar.
Yes.
And he talks about his 5 steps. So the first one is follow your passion. Second one is take it as far as you can until you can go no further. The third is then let go of your attachments to how that outcome is supposed to be completely.
Hard to do.
Right. And then hang out in a positive vibration.
Yes.
And then the last step is to examine your beliefs about whatever would keep you stuck. So does that kind of align here?
110%. And when we were here and he was talking about all that stuff, I was like,
he's a witch. He's not just an alien.
I was like, Daryl's a wizard, guys.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, totally. And I was, and afterwards I even talked to my husband because I was like, this is so similar to thelema. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know if it's thelema or thelema.
I don't know.
But I have been reading that just out of curiosity.
I
But
don't know what is thelema.
it's Aleister Crowley's
okay.
practice.
Oh, okay.
And he, according to the book that I'm reading, he channeled and he created the law, the book of law or something like that. Anyway, I'm not an expert.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But some of the things that they talk about in that book, they talk about following your true will and how they redefine sin, not as like a Catholic would define it or whatever.
Right.
Not bless the Catholics. My grandmother is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But they talk about sin more as not following your true passion. Like that's the true sin.
Okay, wait, let's pause on that one for a moment.
Right?
The true sin is not following your true passion.
Yes.
Because maybe like even the word desire, which is connected to passion, is like of the Father.
Right.
So not following the Father, which is, the creator.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
So that's the sin.
You were created for a reason. We have these abilities, for a reason. And those of us who are lucky enough to just stumble into whatever it is, doors open, things become magical. Things align, and it's so funny because for so long I was so afraid of this side of myself. I was so afraid of the spiritual side, of talking to ghosts, seeing UFOs, like all that stuff. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to tell people because when they did, they treated me like I was a complete weirdo. Now I embrace the weirdo, but for years I was miserable. I was angry. You know what I mean? I was antsy, like I was irritated, like everything bothered me. And I realized because I wasn't really myself. I was hiding my biggest part of myself.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Right?
Right.
Because if you're not your true self, then nobody really knows you. And your friends can't really help you because they don't even know who you really are.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. You kind of isolate yourself. And I discovered, like, as I kind of, came out of the broom closet, if you will.
That's hilarious.
I started to feel more, like things just started to happen. People, I made friends a lot more easily. I was welcome into spaces I was not allowed in before, and it's genuinely a whole different life.
Okay, so last question. Well, I've got 1,000 questions, but two before we get into the ceremony. One is, so how do you differentiate between my will and thy will? I mean, for me, I've got a very strong will, and it's kicked my ass in the past when I've just been like, no, I'm going to make it fit because I want it. And it backfires. So I've had to learn to be like, thy will, not my will, or let my will get behind thy will. So I feel like I feel the internal shift. And so I get nervous. I mean, I have a book called Dreamifesting that's coming out. So it is very much about like, put out there what you want, let your dreams help you with that. And your dreams aren't just the thing that happens at night. It's really your subconscious, your other than conscious self. So it relates to all of this. Yes. So it really is about claiming and having some assertion, not just being passive, like, I don't know, I'm not sure, maybe not, I don't know, but like claiming things and maybe not out loud so everybody can hear, but at least internally. So how do you differentiate between my will versus thy will? And what do you do about that?
That is a very good question. I feel like that's where my issue was because I was too much my will and not enough of thy will. I feel like there's a happy balance between the two. And I think that's the key, is the balance.
Right.
And finding that because, we talk about this in magic, right? If you're casting spells or what have you, you have to be a little delulu,
That is my new favorite word. I think this is like the third time I've heard that. I think I'm going to change my name to Delulu. Kelly Delulu Sullivan Walden. I love it.
True. You really do, because you have to believe that you have the power to do it. Do you know what I mean? You have to own, like, sit up a little straighter, you have to own that you have power. And with that, there is a little bit of an ego, but you have to be careful with ego, because it's not like I am the almighty and I can make anything happen.
Right.
It's more like I can make what happens that which is in alignment with my spirit.
And with the highest good of all concerned. So no one gets left out, even certain people that we'd rather leave out. But yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes, exactly. And and that's where it's kind of like it's both. It's like my will and thy will, but but the my will has to have a little bit of a surrender too. So you've got enough of the ego to say, yeah, I'm good enough to do it, or whatever. But then a little bit of a surrender to say,
yes,
it's okay if it doesn't go exactly the way I plan.
Right. Yeah, because I can't possibly see everything. I'm going to do my part and then leave the rest to. So because as a sinner, it would be to not follow thy will,
right,
quote unquote. And I remember Marianne Williamson saying years ago that sin, the word sin, used to be an archery term that meant missing the mark.
That makes sense.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, so where do dreams fit into magic and from your perspective, to witchcraft, and how do you use your dreams to create?
That's such a big question. I feel like dreams are the essence of all of it, to be honest. The whole reason why I am even sitting here today and I am a witch is because of dreams.
How so?
So it started when I was like 5 years old. I had this it's a very mundane, weird, simple dream, but it is emblematic of something bigger.
Okay.
So I was very little, and I had a dream that I went to drink something, and there was a bug in the cup.
Oh, wow.
So simple, very simple. And for some reason, this dream haunted me. I'm a child. I wake up practically screaming about it. I'm so upset about this dream.
Wow.
And to the point where I say to my mom, I can never drink out of this one particular type of cup, because if I do, there will be a bug in it. My mom is like,
oh, Delulu.
She's like, this kid, she's so difficult.
So sensitive. Oh my God.
Like, we can't do anything.
Right. Just suck it up.
Seriously. And so, we go out to restaurants. Every restaurant we go to, this poor woman has to ask the waiter or the waitress every single time, what kind of glasses do you use? Every time.
Okay.
Because of my weirdness. So finally, months go by, and she's gotten to the point where she's like over it. She's like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. This is driving me crazy. You just have to accept whatever glass you get. I'm sorry. That's life. We go to this one restaurant. I probably shouldn't name it. Anyway,
tell me later.
I'll tell you later. We go to this one restaurant in Massachusetts, and I force her to the whole thing. She has to ask. And the woman is like, I am so sorry. Those are literally the only glasses that we have here. And so my mom is like, just take it, drink it, be done with it. This is nonsense. So I get the cup, and I just know. I get my straw and I swirl it like this. And as the ice clinks around, boonk, right in front of me, a cockroach the size of this ring.
No.
Huge. And I just look at it. Mind you, I'm a child. And I'm just looking at it like,
hello.
I told you. She doesn't believe me. She's like, oh, no, there isn't. I'm like, there's a bug in my, no, there isn't.
Oh my.
She grabs my glass. She looks at it. She's like, oh my God. What? We call the waitress. The waitress freaks out. She's like, oh my God, how did that even happen? And I'm just sitting there like,
people,
I knew this was gonna happen. Nobody believes me. And I realized in that moment, oh my gosh, my dreams come true.
Mm-hmm.
I have to pay very close attention
Mm-hmm.
to everything that I dream
Mm-hmm.
because it will tell me what's going to happen. And that's how I ended up in witchcraft.
Whoa. Oh my Lord. Yeah, sometimes the dreams you have, this is why I say may your best dreams come true, not just may your dreams come true. It's
Right.
like, no, no, no. Let's be discerning about which dreams. We don't want all of them coming true.
No.
Only the good ones.
Yeah.
Oh my heavens. Okay, so shall we do a little
let's
thing,
do
a little
it.
something something. I
Okay.
can't even see the time, so I don't even know how long.
How are
Okay,
we?
we're doing good.
Are we good?
We're doing
Okay.
great.
Okay.
All right, so what
awesome.
do we do?
Okay, so we're going to think about Beltane. I'm going to grab this and hold
Okay.
on.
Yeah.
So we're going to think about Beltane, and
Your hair's so cute, by the way.
I just got my
She's
hair
got her hair done. It's
done.
so adorable. I love it.
I love the purple.
I love the purple.
Okay. So we're going to start with a little guided magic. Oh, what are we going to do? Let's start with what we're going to do. So my first idea was to sort of prompt everybody to think of things that you would like to release, and if you want to, you can write them down on a piece of paper so that it's a little bit more easy to, keep track of everything like
grab
that.
a journal, grab anything. You have fancy
Anything.
parchment paper and bay leaves.
I have this fancy parchment paper, which I will share.
So we're going to do it, but so you all get your own paper.
Yeah, so I have this like fancy parchment paper. And I also have bay leaves. So bay leaves are probably one of the witches' like favorite things in the world to use. They're very connected to divine source and what have you. The idea is that when you write your wishes on a bay leaf and you burn it, the smoke is carried to the spirit realm for them to then work on your wish and like bring it to the real world and make it real. And there's a whole like Greek story about the bay laurel that I don't remember in detail, but
as long as you know how to do it, that's all.
Yeah, it's part of that though. Right. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we will pull out our bay leaves.
Okay.
And at the precise time, we will write down on one side something that we are grateful for.
Okay.
Because
I want mine now.
Oh, you take it.
I want to start vibing on mine now. I'm like a little kid. Chocolate.
And it is really good to vibe with your witchy tools, because the idea is that everything has a spirit. I'm into animism, so I believe everything has a spirit, from this bay leaf to that marker that you've got right there. And because everything has a spirit, everything has an aura, everything has energy. And that's why crystals work. Like if you ever carry, want to know why does a rose quartz work? It's because the aura of the rose quartz is loving, and that affects your aura, right? So the same with the bay leaf. Now, because the bay leaf also has its own little spirit, you can tell the bay leaf what you want it to do. So you can say to your bay leaf, I'm going to make a wish, but first I'm going to express something I'm very grateful for. And because, gratitude attracts abundance.
Exactly. It's not like I need this thing because everything sucks. So make something that doesn't suck as much. No,
right. It's kind of like, thank you for all this other stuff you've done for me. I'm so grateful. I really appreciate it. But here's this one other thing that I could really use. So that's what you would do with the bay leaf. Now, the difference with the paper is, on the paper, you were just writing out just whatever you want to get rid of.
What you want to get rid of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just release everything. Maybe you have a bad habit that you're over.
I don't understand that at all. I feel sorry for everybody who has those, but that was like my last life. I got rid of all of them, and now I'm good. I'm just,
That's okay. I'll make up for it. I have all the bad habits.
I'm kidding. Oh my God. Okay. So on the paper, so everyone right now, take a moment to scribble something down, and if you need to pause this later, then do so. Can I use
actually
your paper?
Grab it. Go for it.
Right.
So first let's take a moment.
All right, so here, take one of these little,
we will write down anything we want to get rid of.
Okay. We need a little musical.
I know, I was
do,
like
do, 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 do. Jonathan, Dana, can you guys do a little beep, 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 beep? What is the song of getting rid of stuff? Oh my God.
My pen?
Oh, you have to do a little pumpage.
You do pumpage.
Yeah. Like
That's
yeah,
part of the magic.
Oh, see? There you go. So we're releasing stuff, we're writing,
Yes.
we're letting go. Oh.
And of the things that you can let go, things like, if you're not exercising enough, you could let go of laziness, that kind of a thing.
I resemble that remark.
I do too. That's what I'm writing down.
Oh my God. Oh man.
I need to exercise. That's what I need.
Once I get started on the releasing, I could be like, give me my whole journal.
Seriously.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so
All right.
much you can
I think
release.
this is okay. I'm trying to fit a little bit more on here. Okay, now I have stuff on my little.
So you have your stuff. So put that aside for now.
Okay.
We'll use that later.
All right.
And then the other thing you want to do is think about something that you are very grateful for. I usually try to stick to just one thing with bay leaves, like one item per side, because there's not much writing room.
Yeah.
So, something that you're grateful for, it could be something as like, oh, I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for Pearl,
Yeah.
It could even be, I'm grateful for today.
Yeah. And I'm grateful for you being here.
Yes, I'm grateful for you.
I'm grateful to Misha Walden for introducing her to me.
Yes.
And
very grateful.
And there's
for
so
Misha.
many, and the gratitude just keeps flowing.
Exactly.
Wow. Once I get warmed up, man.
I know. I started writing like more than one. I literally just said write one thing and wrote 4 things.
It's really small.
The first rule of witchcraft is break all the rules.
The rules are the rules schmoles.
You have to learn them though. You got to learn them and then
break them deliberately.
Right. Okay. So we have our gratitude. Now think about something, because this is Beltane, because this is, the return of the sun. This is the time to plant things. This is the time to think about something that you want to have grow. And I would put that on the other side.
Okay. And just one.
Just
one.
4.
Well, just 1 or 20. Whatever. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Until you tell us to stop.
I know. I'm like, what do I? Okay. Yay. Okay. Got it. So now let's just so we have our things. We know what our things are. So do you want to do a little guided meditation?
Oh, sure.
Should we do that?
Do you want to do it?
Do it. Let's just do a little one.
Okay.
Just because we don't have a big fire right now. So,
right.
So the idea is that you would then burn these items.
Yes.
So let's kind of visually burn them.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So first you want to just sit and get really comfortable. Close your eyes. And just allow your body to just relax into gravity and just really feel earth beneath you and feel how Mother Earth just holds us close to her and keeps us safe. And as you're feeling this delicious, wonderful energy, let all your muscles relax. Let all anything bad from the day, any negative energy, just let it drain out of your body for now into the earth and feel nice and balanced and centered. And as you're moving into this beautiful state, turn slowly to your mind's eye and begin to envision a giant field under a sunny sky. The temperature is absolutely perfect and comfortable for you. The grass beneath your feet is comfortable and soothing. You hear birds chirping in the distance. Flowers are blossomed all around you. And as that sun shines brightly overhead, you feel its warmth on your face. And you just feel this incredible gratitude for being alive, for being here, right now with us. And as you focus on your gratitude, turn to the center of the field. And there, see the beginnings of a bonfire. See a ring of stone, and in the center, some dirt and some pieces of trees and whatnot. And as you picture this bonfire, start to think about things that you are ready to release. And as you picture these things, slowly put them into the fire as kindling to build up the flames. And feel those flames grow higher and higher. Watch them grow. Feel the warmth of them. And as you drop in everything that you want to release, whether it's one thing or 20 things, watch the fire consume these things and alchemize them into positive energy and build that fire up. And when you're ready, start to think about what you want to grow. What do you want to plant? What do you want to manifest? And as you build that image in your mind of whatever it is that you want to use this positive energy for, this fire to help grow, as you picture it in your mind, start to run towards the flames. And when you get to the bonfire, leap over it with a giant leap of faith. And as you land on the other side, gently and comfortably, you turn and you see the fire and you see your dreams coming true. And they are wonderful. And so now we're going to slowly and gently get back into our bodies. Maybe you want to take a deep breath in, hold, and out. And feel that breath fill your lungs. Keep breathing comfortably at your own pace, filling your lungs and getting back into your body. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
So beautiful. That was good. Oh, I need to talk out loud with that voice. That was beautiful. I love that.
You like that?
I was right there. Oh, you're so good at that.
Thanks.
That was so good.
I have to be honest. When I do those things, I leave. I don't even have any idea what I just said.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever you do, keep doing that because that was awesome. All right. Wow. All right. We sort of did it.
We did
now
it.
That
we did
means
it virtually.
So now we're going to, if you haven't yet burned your paper, then find a safe place in which to do that.
Yes.
And
exactly.
What do we do with these little babies?
Same thing. You burn.
We're going to burn both.
Okay. I would start with this.
One's the kindling, and one is what raises with the fire.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow, fire. She's getting.
So the paper is the kindling.
Pearl's all excited.
Pearl's
She's playing with her
excited.
little lion friend.
She
over
feels
here.
that Beltane energy.
She's like, yeah.
And then the tree, the bay leaf, will send it off to the spirits for you.
Oh my God, that is so beautiful.
Isn't that fun?
I love it.
And it's so simple.
Yeah, but it's a way of like focusing on what's important, because those little moments of focusing can actually shift an entire trajectory.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's all about your perspective, you know?
Exactly. So is anybody who's I'm not able to see on all the different things who's got questions, because I am not looking, but is there any questions?
I don't see any
Okay,
questions.
I
I
mean-
wouldn't know how to.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Jonathan, Dana, anybody got a question?
Cletus.
Cletus. Okay. So is there anything else that we need to know before? Yeah. What else?
Yeah. What? I'm trying to think. What else is there to know?
Okay. So many things.
I
but
know there's so many things.
What are we doing time-wise? Okay, we're good.
We're good? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap this up.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. So this is amazing.
Yeah.
Melissa Saint Hilaire.
Yes.
You just you rock my soul. Every time I'm with you, I feel like we've been doing this for a long time.
I know. I think we've been dreamifesting in a past life.
I love this so much. I love your book and 30 Real Signs from the Afterlife. And there's other books too, right?
Well,
What are
I have some self-published books,
Okay.
but we won't talk about those. 'Cause
All right.
I'm doing other stuff.
Okay.
Right now I have season 1 of Secrets of the Craft out.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
So, yeah.
Okay, what are you doing with that?
So it's a little interview series.
Oh,
And I just went around LA and I met with some witches and talked to them about their craft.
oh, wow.
The idea is to kind of destigmatize.
Normally Pearl gets really mellow during these interviews, and she is just completely like on fire. She's
Well,
like, my dreams are coming true.
I mean that's probably because I'm also an animal communicator.
Okay, so what's she saying?
So she is saying, give me attention right
Yeah.
now, very much so.
She's like, what are you doing? Why are you?
She wants love and attention. She's like, you guys are talking to each other too much.
Right.
I need attention. I am the most important person here right now.
Yeah, exactly. And have you seen my belly? Have you noticed my belly? Like, most importantly.
Hi.
She's like,
She's
look,
so
I'm a reverse skunk.
She is. She's the best.
Okay,
But
so
yes,
the secrets of the craft.
Yeah. So so exactly. My idea was to destigmatize witchcraft and witches because there's so many people who have such weird thoughts about it.
Yes.
But I always get people writing to me and asking, "Do you eat babies?" And I'm like, "No, I'm a vegetarian."
Oh my God, that is so weird.
I
Oh my
know.
God.
It's the weirdest.
And it's so bizarre.
Question.
Oh, now Jonathan has a
Witches
question.
made of- Is it true witches are made of wood?
Well, that depends.
Oh. No, that is so weird.
Right?
Oh.
People ask the weirdest questions all the time. They're like, "Oh, do you worship Satan?" I'm like, Satan is a Christian concept.
Yeah.
So-
No, not mine.
but yeah. So anyway, so the web series is called Secrets of the Craft, and I interview all these different witches. And I tried to introduce different types of witches. So because there's so many different ways to practice.
Mhm.
And then I kind of compel them
Mhm.
to share a secret as well. So
Whoa.
yeah, the very first one is Carrie, and she's our high priestess at the store. Well, not mine, I'm not in their coven, but
Oh,
she's in her coven's high priestess.
okay.
And she shared a spell. So right out the gate, we have a spell for people, and it's a
Wow.
really good spell too.
Wow.
So that is on YouTube. So you can just Google Secrets of the Craft, and you will find it.
Oh my goodness. And you've shared some secrets with us tonight a little bit. Is there anything
Yes.
else you want to share before I let you go?
I feel like the thing that I most want to share is that two things.
Yeah.
Two things. One, you're not alone.
Mm.
There's always a spirit around you.
Mm.
And it's that little voice, that makes you not take the shortcut home on one particular day and then find out there's an accident or something.
Mhm.
So we're never really alone. We have a spirit that we can always talk to, and some have many spirits that we can talk to and help us. So I feel like that's one. And then the other one is mind over matter. It's the secret to everything.
Mm.
Anything that you can picture yourself doing. And when I say picture, I don't necessarily mean visualize, because I realize some people have
People can't.
difficulty with
Right,
that.
right. Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that it has to be a visual thing, more as can you feel yourself doing something? Can you envision yourself doing something? And there's a trick that I've learned where if I can't envision myself doing the thing, I tend to not be able to do the thing. And I find that it's me holding myself back.
Oh, interesting.
So then I do a little shadow work or what have you.
Mm.
And as soon as I can really see myself doing it or feel myself doing it,
Mm.
boom, the door opens and I do the thing.
Ooh, I love that. Okay, that's it. it just opens up 5,000 more things that I have. But I'm gonna cut us off. We're gonna be short and Swedish.
Swedish.
And you're heading off to Europe tomorrow
not
with your fancy
tomorrow.
hair.
Next week.
But- okay, next week. All right,
next week.
listen up. All right,
Close
so
enough.
happy Beltane. Oh, Jonathan, in
Yes.
closing,
I just have to try to understand what it is.
do you want to come here and be on the
No,
camera?
that's okay.
Okay.
It seems like, tell me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
It seems like that what witchcraft, is that what you call it?
Mhm.
What that is a way of relating to the essence of what life is, the substance, the field of existence,
Mhm.
in a particular way that has, well, in whatever witchcraft's particular way of doing that is. But there's a lot of other ways, as I know, to relate with that field of existence, with the substance of life and the mystery and the multidimensionality of reality, little r and big R.
Yes.
So is that what it is? Just another way, a sort of semi-organized way of relating directly with who you are in existence with everything.
110% yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that's the truest form of witchcraft.
Right.
You know, you can also use witchcraft to, you can do spells to get a brand new car and, manifest like mundane things in reality, but to me, that's the truest form of witchcraft, is to know thyself and know the universe.
Right. So that essentially, I mean, is it a way that you ultimately get to a point where you recognize that you share your being with everything in existence?
Yes.
And it's not really about this will make me happy or this won't, and if I don't get it, then I don't feel good. It's going transcending beyond the mundane
Yes.
into recognizing who you are, so that you just reflect your divinity everywhere.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
whether you have what you want or not, you still feel the fulfillment of life.
Exactly. Because in a weird way, then you have everything you want in life.
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're not for want anymore.
Right.
Because you just accept.
Yeah.
And that's the goal.
Cool.
Mm.
Okay. So basically, it's just another form of, I mean, it's been stigmatized in a lot of ways.
So much. Yeah.
Right, you know.
Yeah. And when I say that, and also bear in mind too, that that's my definition,
Mhm. Right.
right.
There might be others that would say,
Oh gosh,
something else.
there's a zillion. I mean, there are
Mhm.
so many different practitioners, and that's partly why I did my series, is
Right.
because every time I ask a different person what define being a witch,
Uh-huh.
it's a different answer.
Right.
Tell me what witchcraft means to you. Different answer.
Mm.
Some witches that you talk to, and again, I don't put down anybody. I don't judge anybody.
Mhm.
Everyone has their path to walk, and
Mhm.
I think everyone is wonderful.
Mhm.
Well, maybe except for one. Anyway,
but we won't talk about that.
No.
Yeah.
But some witches are very much about the material, and that's okay. That's
Yeah.
their journey.
Right.
And if
right.
their journey is they want to do spell crafting because they want to have a Mercedes or whatever it is, the thing is, that's fine.
Mhm.
That's their path, and that's the way that they describe. That's their witchcraft. Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
But for me, that's ultimately that's what this is to just be and
Mm.
to be okay being,
Right. Mhm.
and that doesn't mean sit on your couch, do nothing, and watch TV all day long.
Right.
You still, should have goals and
Right. Right.
and
right.
things,
Right.
But it's like a fusion of all of it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In Dreamifesting, I talk about the difference between ego goals and soul goals.
Yes.
And I don't necessarily want to exclude the ego goals. I just want them to step behind the soul goals. And
Yes.
and in order to get to the soul goal, I ask people to imagine that you have all the things that your ego thinks it wants,
Right.
whatever it is. And then how does it make you feel?
Yes.
And then once you're feeling that, then what is that? If you drop deeper into that, then what is that? What are you now available to feel? Like if you had all the money, if you had all the success, or if you had all the love, then you might just simply relax. And if you could relax, then what might you be, or what might you do? You might be more creative. And if you're able to be more creative, then you might just enjoy the experience of living a little bit more. And
Yes.
oh my God, wait, that's available right now.
Yes, exactly.
So maybe you don't have to have all those things to get there,
Right.
but it doesn't mean you also don't. You cut them all off as well, but you
Right.
might say, I want the feeling first and foremost as I go. So you don't have to wait 10 years or 20 years before you get that.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
you start feeling it along the way.
Yeah. You just say, I love my life.
Yeah.
I love my life.
And the gratitude.
That's it.
I love that we started off writing the gratitude. I feel like that is such an important piece. Like what is
Yes.
already working,
Yes.
what's already good. And then in my last conversation with Robert Moss, he was talking about and always being open to the surprise, like the universe,
Mhm.
like say, this is what I want, but also I'm open to being delighted and surprised.
You know, there's a filmmaker, and I always forget, is it Godard or Truffaut? The one, the open door policy on set. I always forget which. Anyway, there's a French filmmaker. I learned that in the 90s. Forgive me if it left my brain.
You are forgiven.
But
that is not a sin.
But there was this concept that in French cinema, you would have an open door policy on set, meaning that even if the script was written, even if it had been entirely storyboarded, even if every actor knew every single line, you keep an open door on set because in the moment of creation, anything can happen.
Ooh.
And so you want to allow that to come in and exist.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
Well,
Dana
considering
Walton.
the open door policy,
Okay.
I'm just wondering if Cletus feels like
Oh my
walking
God. We
through
have
the open
our
door
friend has a sub-personality named Cletus.
with a question.
Oh my God.
The final question.
That's so it's one thing to have Cletus
Maybe
ask his
not.
own question.
Maybe
It's
not.
another to like
Force
be
Cletus.
forced.
Cletus is the one that asked about whether witches are made of wood.
There we go.
Well,
There we go.
It just
Would
well,
I? No.
Right. Would I? Would I?
Which would infer that they weigh the same as a duck. Which is why they float.
Good, they flow. Exactly. Yes.
Okay, now on that note, happy Beltane and happy summer.
Happy summer. Yeah. Happy
Yeah.
summer. And
Oh my God, it's getting hot.
it is. It's getting hot.
Light a fire, but keep it contained, you know.
Oh, should I mention one more thing?
Oh,
It just
yeah.
occurred to me.
One more thing always.
I'm teaching a series right now.
Yes, talk about that.
It popped into my
Yeah,
head. We were trying to wrap up.
Yes.
So it's called Mediumship for Witches.
Okay.
So I talk to ghosts and spirits. I have since I was 3 years old that I can remember. Maybe it was before then. But so the idea is that I teach people how to communicate with their spirits using witchcraft. And it's a fun way to do it because, you get to make stuff. It feels like witch camp.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm teaching that right now. It's almost over. I only have one class left.
Okay.
However, for anybody watching this, they could sign up and pop in for the last class and get recordings of all of the previous classes.
Okay, so how do they find you?
So that is AmericanWitch13.com.
AmericanWitch13.com.
And I will be teaching a part 2 of that series coming in probably late summer, early fall-ish.
Okay.
And that's where we take a really big deep dive and we actually give readings.
Ooh, oh my Lord. Okay, AmericanWitch13.com. Dana Walden, we're wrapping it up. Okay, we're making room for the magic. Open door policy.
Other spirits here. When you mentioned the name
Gypsy.
Gypsy, I saw a butterfly immediately flying over your head. And it was a yellow, like a bright yellow butterfly. And I got this feeling of creativity and support. Does that make sense at all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, her numbers were 333 and today 333 popped up, but then it shifted because it was only 233. But I saw that anyway.
Oh,
I'm like, Gypsy wants to be here tonight.
She's definitely here. Because when you mentioned her name before, I felt like a little swirl. I almost interrupted to say something.
Oh my God, you can always interrupt. Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. Okay. On that note, we bid you a fond Beltane.
Yes.
And until we all meet again, don't take your dreams lying down. If I could find the button, we might be here forever. Sweet
Yeah.
dreams. Bye.
I also.
Thank you for listening to Calling Dr. Dream, the Kelly Sullivan Walden Dreamifesting podcast. If this episode awakened you to the power of your dreams, take a moment to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your dreaming friends. I'd so appreciate that. Ready to make your dream life your real life? Pre-order the Dreamifesting book at your favorite bookstore, then float on over to dreamifesting.com. That's dreamifesting.com to receive your free Dreamifesting bedtime meditation. Want to hang out with me live? Join the Dreamifesting recording sessions most Wednesdays at noon Pacific on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube Live. If you have a question about your dreams, email me at kelly@kellysullivanwalden.com. This is also where you can drop me a voice memo. I love hearing from you, but please keep your audio messages to a minute so I can play them on air. Until next time, remember, the more you dream, the better you live. The better you live, the more you lift us all. So keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep dreamifesting. Sweet dreams.